In this video, the FPL game has been launched for the 2022-23 season. So we go over my first draft, having a look at some of the prices, looking at some of the options, as well as how many big hitters are we managing to fit into this first 11. All of that on this video. What the flock is going on, and welcome to FPL Today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel, and welcome to the first draft for the 2022-23 Fantasy Premier League season. We start again for those of you that have been with me for a while, and to those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. And just a little bit about myself, I've been playing seriously for the last 7 years. And in those 7 years, I have 4 finishes in the top 30k, 2 of which have been in the top 20k. And I have both of those times just missed out on the top 10k. But we try and make things fun on this channel. We try and help you win your mini leagues. And we try and have a discussion in the comments down below. So if you want to join in on the fun, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're updated when my videos do go live. And let's start with the draft. And as you can see, we are starting off with the defense, and we have Raya in goal. Now, Raya actually rotates quite well as a Brentford goalkeeper with whoever the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper is. And we're hoping that's going to be Dean Henderson coming in at 4.5 million. However, right now we've got Guaita there because the transfer hasn't gone through yet. But Raya and the Nottingham Forest keeper might be the rotation pair I go for. Previously, in seasons gone by, I have actually gone for a set and forget of picking the starting goalkeeper at 4.5, usually Sanchez from Brighton, and then their understudy, who's usually 4 million, leaving me only having spent 8.5 million. But we're spending the full 9 million. That could change because we do have, of course, the Liverpool defender being Andrew Robertson instead of Trent Alexander-Arnold. We actually, in this team, come up short on the budget for Trent Alexander-Arnold to take his usual place in my side. Instead, we have Robertson, who, to be fair to him, did actually get 1 less assist last season, getting 11 assists to Trent's 12, but did get 1 more goal. The issue is he didn't have as many minutes played and he didn't get as many bonus points, actually only getting 186 points compared to Trent Alexander-Arnold's 208. So ideally, we would want to get Trent back into our starting 11, but Robertson is a very good option as well, and probably will be a differential at the start of the season if he does have one of those periods where he outscores Trent. Joining him in defence is Cancelo, who, again, great player, who will get some attacking returns as well as clean sheets being in that Manchester City side. We know that Manchester City side can get a lot of clean sheets, can shut teams out, and then also have their fullbacks get involved in the goals with assists and goals. Cancelo last season managed only 1 goal, but we could see that become more. But he did get 11 assists, getting 201 points in total and getting 27 bonus points compared to Robertson's 23 from last season. So if we're going to upgrade one of those to Trent, it would be Robertson that we upgrade to that position, both of them coming at the same price. That way we have coverage of 2 of the best teams in the league's defence. And of course, because we're going so expensive at the back, and also because of how expensive we're going elsewhere, we do need some cheap enablers, and Tomiyasu and Arsenal defenders seem to offer great value. Tierney, if you can afford him at 5 million and he stays fit, I think could get you some great points this season with his attacking potential as well as the Arsenal clean sheets. But Tomiyasu also plays right back, could get some attacking returns, less likely than Tierney, but 4.5 million I think is a great option. Ben White may be a bit more nailed on, maybe more secure of an option, potentially gets more bonus points as well this season, but we've gone with Tomiyasu for now, joined by Justin from Leicester. Now at 4.5 million, I think a lot of this has to do with Leicester not performing as well as people thought they would last season because of so many injuries in defence, and I just think it was one of those seasons that Leicester didn't really live up to expectations, but they could bounce back this season. I think James Justin is a great player and can get attacking returns. And coming at 4.5 million, I think him and Ricardo Pereira could be some great shouts for your FPL sides. We move things on to the midfield, and as you can see, we have gone big. We have 25 million spent on 2 players. That is Mohamed Salah and Heung-min Son. And if you've been watching the content on this channel since the end of last season, you'll know that I've been going on and on about how I want Son and Salah in my side. The unfortunate thing for me is Salah came in at 13 million, which to be honest I did expect. But Son coming in at 12 million was a bit out of the blue for me. I really thought it'd be 11.5, and that seems to be one of the main reasons I've been outpriced of Trent Alexander-Arnold in defence. Meanwhile, Kane and Haaland have come in at 0.5 million cheaper. That has given me some food for thought, but these are the two players that scored the most points last season in the Fantasy Premier League game. Salah getting 265 points and Son getting 258, both getting 23 goals apiece, with Salah 14 assists and Son 10. So it's going to be really difficult for me to ignore the likes of Salah and Son, even if they do come in at such a mammoth amount of my budget. Now, if you want access to the stats I've just been discussing to you, then please do check out top link in the description down below, Fantasy Football Hub, where you can join up to a website. It does cost a bit of money, but you do get a website that gives you articles, fixture tickers, and OPTA stats that will help you in your Fantasy Premier League season as the season goes on and help you get that best rank possible in the 2022-23 season. So give them a check out below. It does support the channel, and that would be greatly appreciated. Now, moving on to the other midfielders, because of course Son and Salah, they kind of pick themselves if you really are that behind them as players. I think they're both top quality. The fact that there's an argument that Son isn't world class is a bit astounding to me. But anyway, in midfield with those two is Martinelli and Neto. Now, they are cheap, 6 million for Martinelli, and Neto is at 5.5 million. And to be honest, Neto is right now probably not that nailed on my side, because although I think he's a great player and I think he has the potential to really be explosive and get some decent points this season, he did come off of a bad injury last season. He's not been playing, and we didn't see him last year to see if he was going to continue that form or if he was maybe going to tail off from the form he had before he picked up the knock. Then we have Martinelli as well. I think if he is in the starting 11 for Arsenal, he is a great shout, but again, I'm not too sure he will be in that starting 11, so we might need to look elsewhere for midfielders in this budget range. But right now, it's those two that have picked up my interest and could do very well this season. And then we move on to the strikers, and yes, that's right, as the thumbnail said, Haaland is in at 11.5 million. I think literally that 0.5 million has just made him too alluring for me to ignore. Now that he's 11.5 million, I kind of want him in the side. And with the fact that I can get Cancelo, Robertson, Salah and Son in this side with Haaland, does make it a little bit too nice to ignore. Now, if it'd been at 12 million, maybe we would have looked elsewhere. And could Kevin De Bruyne be just as good an option? Yes, I believe he could. However, I think Haaland will be such a massive pick at the start of the season that I probably would be doing myself a disservice not to own him in case he does hit the ground running, especially as I can still get Salah and Son into my starting 11. Is it the best balanced team I've ever built at the start of a year? Probably not, and of course this is subject to change with so much time between now and the start of the season. But Haaland's numbers, like I've gone over in previous videos, are incredible, and he's now at a Manchester City side to create loads of chances. And I think 2 Liverpool and 2 Man City at least seems to be a must, and Haaland just seems like such a great option out of all the Man City ones. And then of course Undav comes in at 5.5 million. Thank you to some of you guys for shouting out Undav in the comments down below. Apologies if that's a wrong pronunciation, but at 5.5 million, if he is a starter at Brighton, I think he'll probably be the cheap striker I take a punt on, as well as my bench playing striker. And we're hoping to find some sort of cheap 5.5 million forward gem this season, because we do need it, having picked Haaland, Salah, Son, Cancelo and Robertson. And then finally, quickly going over the bench, we've got Guaita there now at 4.5 million, but ideally we want Dean Henderson if he makes the move to Nottingham Forest for that rotation between him and Raya. We've then got Luiz from Aston Villa, another 4.5 million player. He is in there basically to make up the numbers. Although Luiz can get some assists sometimes at Aston Villa, I'm not expecting loads of points from him. Kufau is also there, but this season does seem to have a lot of good, cheap budget defenders, so that could quite easily change. And then finally, the third striker is Mateta from Crystal Palace at 5.5 million. Again, if he could just be a little bit more nailed on, he does compete with Edouard for that up front position for Crystal Palace. If he could be nailed on, though, I think Mateta's a decent shout at that price range. So we've gone with him for now. He's mainly going to be a bench player, or maybe if he's a starter, rotate with Undav. So guys, that is my team. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video and it has been insightful for you. And feel free to let me know what you think of this starting 11 and the bench in the comments down below. Have at it. I don't mind. I've got some thick skin. Completely rip it apart if you feel like you need to. Praise it where you like. And also let me know what your teams are looking like for the start of the FPL season. With that being said, again, if you have enjoyed the content, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing, as well as hitting that notification bell so you'll get updated when my videos do go live. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.